Lot to discuss here with the Philadelphia Eagles for the Thursday practice. A lot of question marks regarding to the status of specific players going into this game. A big returnee for next week. The Eagles have to make a big decision here on what's going to happen, and a lot more regarding a cornerback trade because I do not think this is going to last long. I think the Eagles are going to have to pull the trigger at some point when it comes to a trade, and we're going to find out a lot sooner than later. And let's get straight into all the news.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope it's having a fantastic day. Hope everyone is doing well. So we're going to be going over Thursday's practice for the Philadelphia Eagles and a lot more news for this week and a lot of things coming in the future for the Philadelphia Eagles. So the first thing I kind of want to go over is obviously the Thursday, September 25th practice report for the Eagles, okay? Now, Lane Johnson, we'll start with him first because it's the easiest one. Another full practice for Lane Johnson, which was great, looked really good. So I guess the stinger is wondering if it's lingering, but I'm guessing he's fully better from it, and we get our right tackle back. You know, it's nice to see that we have a backup in Fred Johnson that can really take the reins, God forbid, if something happens, but Lane Johnson definitely needed for this game against Tampa Bay. And another full practice for the Eagles. Running back Will Shipley is back for another practice. Most likely will be playing this week. Nice to have Shipley back. I want to see more Will Shipley. You know, they got to be very careful with Saquon Barkley early in the year and make sure they're not overdoing it with him because we need him at the end of the year. We need him for the playoffs. And obviously Shipley has to come in and do some things. Seems like they still don't want to play Hank Bigsby, since now he's not really a big one on special teams that they really agree with right now. We'll see what happens down the road. Now we're going to be talking about the starting linebackers in Zack Baun and Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell was a spectator on Wednesday with the triceps injury, but he did have a light practice today. So no status for him. Big question mark going into this week. Really don't want to lose him. You don't have Nakobe Dean back either. So if Jahad Campbell doesn't play, Trotter Jr. will most likely be in the lineup if anything happens. And then you had Zack Baun that just warmed up with the team on Wednesday but didn't practice and had a knee brace on. Thursday's practice, Zack Baun did not have a knee brace on. So the status for him is still a big question mark as well if he's going to be playing this week. They desperately need him this week. So I'm hoping that one of them is playing between Jahad Campbell and Zack Baun, or at least if you get both of them back would be a great thing. Or if Trotter has to take over one of those spots, that I think you'll still be in a good place. But it'd be a big loss if you lose both of these guys. But we'll see what happens with both of them. There'll be a lot of pressure for a defensive lineman this week, especially in Jalyx Hunt. That has been on the milk cart in the last 3 weeks. Hasn't done much to anything, to be honest with you. And as a third-round pick, you would think I wouldn't put too much pressure on a guy. But how he kind of got into the late rotation late in the season last year and then really got into the playoffs and really started to do some crazy work. As much as I want to put the pressure on everybody else because Jordan Davis is going to be playing at a higher level, Jalen Carter trying to get his feet under him a little bit more, another week passing by and hopefully being in more shape. And there's only so much you could put on Zadarius Smith, and I think he's been a very big immediate impact for the Eagles. So not sure if they're going to have Ogbo come to the active roster. Not sure if Azeez Ojulari. I mean, Azeez Ojulari's been a healthy scratch like pretty much all of the regular season. They sure as hell don't even want to play him. So I wonder if will get some type of opportunity. If Jalyx Hunt has a quiet year like he has been so far, and this continues on for the rest of the season, it's going to be a really big loss for the Eagles, especially with Nolan Smith being out for the next 4 weeks. And losing Nolan Smith is obviously a big loss because the pressure is really on him to get his numbers up and, see him get better in the pass rush and really get to that next level as a player. And now missing 4 weeks, I think this really relies on Jalyx Hunt to really step it up, and hopefully he does. And Josh Uche as well. He's been one of the highest graded defensive ends the first few weeks, and this is a guy that was traded mid-season last year to KC and was a healthy scratch for most weeks, couldn't learn Spag's defense. But the year prior to that, in 23, he was a double-digit sack guy for the New England Patriots and had numbers up. So I know that Uche has it in him. He's a natural pass rusher here, and I need him to do more, and hopefully he will do more. Now, the cornerback situation is interesting this week where you don't have Adoree Jackson, most likely not this week, and it looks like we heard new news about the Jacorian Bennett injury, that it is a pec injury, okay? Now, apparently he got this pec injury the last drive of the game when they were going downfield, and And it's an unfortunate loss because this would have been the game where I want Jacorian Bennett to start the entire game and really showcase himself. And now he's hurt. So you're losing 2 corners. And Kelee Ringo comes right back into the mix. Now, Kelee Ringo had his press conference the other day and kind of talked about, I don't want to show my play. I want to prove it on the field and show you guys by example of what I could do. And, you know, do I feel really good about this? Probably not. I mean, what can I expect from Kelee Ringo? I've been a big supporter of his ever since, you know, they put him in this camp. They threw him in camp. They put all the pressure on him to win the job. He obviously couldn't win the job. And then you get to the regular season where he hasn't played corner the last few weeks. He's been a special teamer, but he had a week of practice as the starting corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. So with those reps that he's getting in practice, I'm hoping that's going to translate a little bit into this game. I understand you don't have Mike Evans, but you still have Chris Godwin. They have a rookie receiver that's really good over there. So that Buccaneers offense is still very good. He just needs to be serviceable or a little bit better. I would ask for nothing more than for Kelee Ringo to have a shutdown game because I really do want to root for the kid as young as he is. And to be honest with you, I don't want them favoring Adoree Jackson the rest of this season because, number one, I don't think it's going to last. Number two, Ringo is younger. And, of course, you want the younger guy to apply himself and get better every single week and to be a futuristic CB2 for us going down the road so we don't have to spend money at that position. Howie Roseman is definitely paying the price for letting Slay walk, which I didn't think they were going to bring him back anyway, but Isaiah Rodgers walking was probably one of the biggest losses we had in this offseason program. Probably more important than losing Milton Williams, probably more important than losing Josh Sweat this past offseason. And, you know, the Eagles, if this doesn't work out the next few weeks, and flipping and flopping guys because of injury, and you don't have any steady, consistent type cornerback at CB2 that could play week to week and play at a mid to high level, you're going to have to make a trade. I don't think this is going to last as long as we think it is. And Fangio knows that he's running out of time with this. Now you have to worry about the injuries with some of these corners now moving forward, if they could trust them to stay healthy throughout the season. And if they can't, you know, you might have to pull the trigger on something, and it's probably going to happen sooner than expected. And that's what I'm kind of waiting for, but I don't want that to happen. I would love for Ringo to get into this game and play really well. I just don't think from his skill set, I just don't think it's going to happen. I hope he surprises me. I hope I'm wowed by it. And he does so well that Fangio says, yeah, I got to keep this guy in. I mean, I have to keep him in for the rest of the regular season. Would be nice for another Georgia Bulldog to really take the reins and have another success story with one of these players. Looking for the ultimate way to test your sports knowledge? ProfitX puts you in the action with peer-to-peer sports prediction market. Play against your friends and fellow fans, not the house. With the best lines in the space available in over 40 states, ProfitX makes predicting games more exciting than ever. Don't just watch the game, dominate with ProfitX. Now we're going to go over the Eagles versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, another big NFC matchup this Sunday, 1 o'clock, and we're going to be going to the total points, 43.5. Do I take the over or under? And honestly, I think both of these teams will score more than 21, 22 points in this game. I think I'm going to take the over on this. It's going to be a high-scoring game. The Eagles offense is going to be back, and the Buccaneers are going to play it tough, so that's the decision I've made on it for this #1 sports book. Use promo code SHAKE72. You can get up to $200 cash back over your first 30 days. Every play you make, ProfitX gives you money back for playing on their platform. Up to $200. I repeat, use SHAKE72 for the #1 ultimate sportsbook. Now, going into the linebacker core, this is going to be more interesting than ever because next week is week 5, okay? And Nakobe Dean is scheduled to be off of the PUP list, where we did see a report from Elliott Shore Park saying Nakobe Dean is able to come off the PUP list next week. Talking to him today, it's clear he's very excited to get back on the field. Eagles haven't opened his practice window, but assuming they do, I don't think it will be long before he is back out there. Really depends next week what they want to do. He's eligible to come back from PUP, but if they don't, and they don't open that practice window, maybe they put him on PUP for another few weeks. Maybe they do something else. I'm not sure, but how do you fix this situation? Because Jalyx Campbell was obviously drafted because not only was it a need, but you need someone for the future. And because of Nakobe Dean being injured, they knew they were going to have a hole at that spot, which they definitely covered in that first round. You put Nakobe Dean at linebacker and move Jalyx Campbell as an edge rusher. We know it's second team in training camp. Jalyx Campbell was the edge rusher there. And Fangio says he still needs to work on rushing from what we heard from training camp. but I'm not sure if they're actually going to do it. There's literally no room for Nakobe Dean, especially on a contract year. This is the biggest question at the end of the year. Is Nakobe Dean going to get paid somewhat of a contract or an extension? The only thing about it is he's going to be dirt cheap, and the Eagles can bring him back, and if they feel like his health is going to be not much of an issue and he can get back to the player that he was off a patellar tendon injury, there's a good chance he'll come back or get re-signed. But as of playing in season for this regular season, Nakobe Dean needs a few more weeks regardless, even when he comes back the first day. Even if the open practice window opens up for him and he comes back, he's not going to be his normal self. He hasn't been physical. He hasn't had full pads on. He hasn't played a game yet. It's going to take him another few weeks to really get back to his 100% normal self. These things take time, especially when you're rehabbing the whole friggin' season so far. And you know, it's going to, like I said, going to take more time. It's going to be very confusing because what if Jahad Campbell can't play this week? They throw in Trotter next to Baun or something like that. Hopefully that Baun is coming back this week, and maybe they want to give Jahad Campbell another week off, you know, to kind of heal up, and they decide to bring Nakobe Dean. They open his practice window next week, and he starts maybe in the Week 5 game. But when Jahad Campbell comes back, what are you going to do? I mean, I don't know what they're going to do about this situation because Nakobe Dean, before he got injured, was playing at a very high level. And now because that spot is taken up for a first-round pick, you can't bench a first-round pick and have him sit on the bench because Nakobe Dean is coming back. So I don't know what the plan is moving forward, but they got to figure it out if they're bringing Nakobe Dean back next week. Let me know what you guys think about that. Now, we saw the new wide receiver kick returner from the New York Jets that was claimed by the Philadelphia Eagles, Xavier Gipson, okay? He was returning punts at practice, and I don't know if he was returning kicks. I know he was returning punts. Maybe they want to take Dotson off of the punt returns, which would be nice because we really need him as a number 3 receiver as of right now. But I'm hoping that this guy is used for kick returns. I did not like, and trust me, these knuckleball kickoffs are going to continue because Tampa Bay saw the tape against the Rams. These knuckleballs, the muffed kick returns from Tank Bigsby and John Mechie, they might have to make a change there. We cannot put this offense in long field position down inside our own end zone to the 5, the 10, the 15. We cannot go through that and have slow starts. And hopefully Patullo's on. We're hoping Patullo's going to be on his grind again and continuing off of that second half of that Rams game. And if they're giving Tank another shot, hopefully he's better this week and is ready for it. So we'll see what happens with that. Well, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. We talked Nakobe Dean's injury. We talked, obviously, the injury report for the Philadelphia Eagles. Are we going to get Zach Baun and Jahad Campbell back this week? Keely Ringo starting at CB2. Are you nervous about it? There's a lot going on, man. This is a big game this week, and yeah, we have a lot to fight for this week. NFC matchup already here. And you guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of all this together. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more Eagles news every single day. And make sure you hit the like button because it helps out tremendously. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys on the next one. Shakes well, follow side. Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.